Welcome to the Prime Life Project podcast, a place to help you unlock your full potential, both mentally and physically, to become the best version of you. Welcome back to an episode of the Prime Life Project podcast. I'm your host, Daniel James, and today we've got Thursday Thoughts. And I just want to ask you a question before I start. Have you ever felt broken? Have you felt stuck? Have you felt lost? Have you felt out of control? And have you felt like all these things that you've gone through in your life are somehow holding you back and stopping you from being successful in your life? If that sounds like you, then keep on listening as I'm going to share with you why you are wrong and why these things actually qualify you to be successful in life rather than disqualify you like you may be thinking that they do. So for me, this is a massive thing that held me back for a very, very long time. I thought I was broken, I was ashamed, and I felt stuck. I felt stuck because my past hasn't been the best, and especially the fact that I'd been depressed as a male and someone that had been successful, had a good business, had all these transformations, all this sort of stuff. I was very ashamed and embarrassed of that past. Now you tie into that the fact that while I was going through this stuff before I actually hit rock bottom, I've actually hurt a lot of people. I've hurt a lot of people emotionally, because I wasn't emotionally mature enough myself to understand what I was doing. And I used a lot of people, women mainly, for my own personal gain. And I had a lot of shame and guilt around that, and it was holding me back for a very, very long time. And I got myself into a state mentally that I thought, I can never overcome this. This is something I'm never going to be able to overcome. This is something that I'm always going to feel guilt and shame over. And I am somehow broken and less than. Now, especially at this time in my life, I didn't know many people that felt stuck as I did. And I thought that I was the only person. And I was worried that I was broken. And I worried that I was less than other people. And I was worried that people would always look down on me and think that I was broken because I couldn't control what was going on inside here. It was something that really, really bothered me, and there was a lot of shame surrounding that, and a lot of guilt as well for things in my past. And it's only through actually unpicking some of this stuff that I've been able to now help so many people, hundreds of people, by actually coming through the other side of this and owning my struggles. And for me, there's going to be people out there that have gone through loads worse than me. There's also going to be people that haven't gone through as much as I have, but still struggled just as much as I did. And that doesn't discredit you either, because people's struggles are their struggles. So I just want to give you some tips, tricks, things, ideas, concepts, don't even know what you want to call them. But when I was thinking about this particular episode, I was driving my car and I was listening to a group called I Prevail, and a song came on called Scars, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And it really hit me how a lot of people don't actually wear their scars. And I don't mean physical scars, I mean their mental and emotional scars. They hide away from them and they play small because they fear people's judgment. And one of the biggest things I think people fear is actually judgment of themselves. And they feel judgment of themselves, or they fear judgment of themselves, because they haven't actually gone through the work to unpack that bag and that rucksack that's causing them all that guilt and all that shame. And that, like I said, is something I've had to do. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But I just want to talk about how you're actually feeling. And I want to share with you some of the steps that, like I said, I took along this journey to actually get myself to a place where I shifted my mindset. So this first idea or concept is, like I said, the song was called Scars by I Prevail. I'm not going to play it. Don't want to get any copyright infringements. But I'm just going to read to you part of the chorus. And it says, "In the heat of the moment, when fear has you frozen, you're crashing and burning, when life's at its coldest, don't fall too far from who you are. They'll try and tear us apart, but know that we'll wear our scars." That for me is so, so powerful. And for me, the lyrics emphasize the power of enduring the struggles, and it's a reminder that the experiences that we go through in life will only make us stronger. And again, if we can leave behind the emotional and physical scars that have been caused there and basically just wear them, it serves as a reminder. So we leave them behind. We don't wear them as in a negative way. We're leaving them behind us. They're still there. We're not constantly focusing on them. Now, these things have happened, yes, but we're not constantly drawing ourselves attention to these metaphorical scars, these things we've been through. We're not constantly living in the past. We're worrying about them. We wear them. It is what it is. It's like an item of clothing. It's like an item of clothing. It is not me. It's not me. It does not define me. The things that I've gone through, the struggles that I've gone through, they have made me who I am right now. I've endured the struggles. You have endured your struggles and the things that you have gone through. These experiences have made you who you are. The key thing that I like here is don't fall too far from who you are. You are an amazing human being at your core. And sometimes when these things happen to us, or we don't act in accordance with that true version of ourselves, we can forget who we actually are. These things have happened to us, like I said, like the item of clothing. We think it's us. It's not. It's like an item of clothing. These things have happened. It does not define who we are as a person. And we can feel like we're crashing and burning, and life can feel super cold. It can feel cold, especially if you're going through depression or some mental health struggles. It can feel very isolating. You can feel very, very alone. But it's just understanding that these things have happened to help you grow. These things that you've gone through, if you actually change your mindset and your attitude towards them, and rather than seeing them as something that's going to hold you back forever, and actually realize, I have gone through these struggles for a reason. These emotional scars that you've now potentially got, okay, this does not define me. This does not make me less than. Actually, it makes me more than, because there's nothing stronger than going through struggles and coming out the other side. That shows real strength. That shows real character. And the fact that we play small because we've gone through some struggles shows us how far we've got this mixed up. Because for us to actually go through something like that and then actually own that stuff and be like, yeah, I have been through that. For me, it's like that movie 8 Mile with Eminem. Basically, I think it's loosely based on his story, where basically he's going through all these rap battles, and basically he's got a whole host of stuff that's happened in his life. He's got shame, embarrassment over, etc., etc., etc. He gets his final rap battle. He goes first, and he basically tells the guy, "Yes, I'm this. Yes, I'm that. Yes, this has happened. Blah 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 blah." And he's like, "Now what?" Passes the mic. Is like, "What else you got to say?" That's kind of what you've got to be like with your life. Yes, I have done this in the past. Yes, I have done things I'm not proud of. Yes, I have hurt people. Yes, I was depressed. Yes, I did become a mental prisoner of my own mind because I couldn't control my thoughts. Yes, I did go broke. Yes, I did have lots of debt. Yes, I did have to move home with my parents at 28 years old. Yes, I did do all these things. Yes, I did build an amazing company. Yes, I did lose it all. What? That's the kind of attitude you've got to have. You've got to own it, because if you don't, you play it small. What are people going to think? Doesn't matter what other people think. What do you think? And again, once you realise that you are still an amazing human being with some amazing stuff to actually offer and help the world, that is when things start to change. That's when you change your mindset. Your mindset completely shifts. It does not disqualify you from leading an amazing life. It actually qualifies you. You've got to change your mindset around it. And the second concept I want to talk about is, now this concept, I'm going to completely get the name mixed up. It's called Kinsugi, and it's a pottery technique in Japan where something breaks, like a vase or a bowl, and then it's glued back together with melted gold. So instead of making these cracks invisible, so again, trying to pretend these things haven't happened, like these scars, trying to make these scars invisible, they make them beautiful. They make the thing absolutely amazing. So this thing that was quote unquote broken, then you've got it, you put the gold all in it, and it looks absolutely fantastic. And what it does, it actually celebrates the history of the object and what it's actually been through. And more importantly, it adds to its beauty. It adds more value to it. It makes it even more valuable. That is you. You are this bowl. You are this vase that's been smashed to pieces by other people, situations, events in life, whether they were your fault or not. You've got to forgive yourself for some stuff. I knew no better. How I was treating people, I did not know better. I did not have the emotional intelligence to understand what I was doing. I did not have the emotional intelligence to understand that other people had feelings as well. I had no concept of this stuff. I then can't hold myself right now with this awareness to that same standard because I wasn't me in that situation. And that's sometimes what we forget. We see ourselves as we are right now, and we look back with this new mindset, this new outlook, this new perspective, and then we think, oh, well, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? You weren't the same person then. You didn't know any better. You did the best of what you could in that situation. And it may have been the worst decision ever. You may have made a horrendous decision. Okay, own it, learn from it, and then move on. That's the key thing here. It adds to the beauty. It adds to the character. It makes you who you are. Now, before I go into my final point here, if you've taken any value from today's episode so far and it struck a chord with you, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to get more amazing information like this weekly from me. You got the Thursday Thoughts every Thursday, and then you get the main podcast on a Tuesday. If you're listening on Spotify, if you could give us a star review, that would be absolutely amazing. If you go back to the podcast homepage, in the top left-hand corner, you'll see the little star thing. If you could give us a star review, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And finally, if you're on Apple Podcast, give us a follow and a star review as well. That'd be absolutely awesome. Now, the final point I want to bring to sort of bring this to a close here is a song by Bring Me the Horizon called Bad Day. And this song right here pretty much saved me, as bizarre as it sounds, last year with some of the struggles that I was going through. This was something that really held firm with me. Now, this part of the chorus here as well says, When the world is on your shoulders and the weight of your own heart is too much to bear, well, I know that you're afraid things will always be this way. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. I want you to remember the last line here. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. If you are still going through stuff right now, if you're still struggling, if you feel right now that you are broken, that you are less than, that you are stuck, understand it is not a bad life. I promise you, categorically, 100%, that if you do the work and take the time to turn inwards and figure out what's going on here and identify the negative thought patterns that you've got and start to question where some of these thoughts have come from, where some of your beliefs have come from, if you start to actually question these things, as hard as it may be, I promise you, you'll come through the other side and you'll experience how amazing life is. I can categorically promise you that. And then what happens is once you go through that work, you can then help people that are struggling go through the same stuff that you've been doing, which is exactly what I'm doing now. It allows you to actually give back and help people. The universe is good. The universe will only give you what you can handle. It's giving you whatever this struggle is that you've got right now. If you can change your mindset on this, rather than it happening to you, it's happening for you. And this is going to sound absolutely bizarre, but if you can adopt that mindset, not just through the struggles that you've been through, but for the struggles moving forward in your life, whenever you're struggling with something, if you can say, this is happening for me, there is a lesson here, this is helping me become a better version. And again, no matter how bad it is, remember that pottery. Remember what I said here, in making this video, what you're doing is you're making the object, you're celebrating it, you're making it more valuable. When you're gluing these things together, you're actually making it more beautiful. It's making you a better, stronger person. Understand the universe is giving you these challenges to help you, to push you forward. Every single thing that's happening in your life is happening for you. Keep holding on to that, and I promise you things will get better. If you've taken any value from today's episode, please don't forget to share it with a friend. Help us to spread the word, help as many people as possible. Until next week, take it easy.